Hi guys, it's Jaden. Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I'm going to be talking about details of how physical exertion, especially sexual activity exertion, and even sexual desires, can trigger the adrenaline rushes and multiple symptoms that we get from adrenal fatigue, anxiety disorder, hormonal imbalance, pretty much all the health issues that cause your body to be chronically in the fight or flight state, the sympathetic nervous system state. Before we get into it, again, I am not a doctor or a nurse or a therapist. Please consult your own medical professional before taking on any health advice. I am sharing my experience, my research, information I know of that worked for me with you guys for your own research and educational, entertainment, reassurance purposes. I highly encourage you guys to first get checked out by the doctor when it comes to do with these health crash issues and hormonal imbalance and symptoms and that. Rule out the important serious stuff with your doctor first, and then when you know it is more about the hormones or more about the adrenal insufficient imbalance and it's causing you to have these symptoms of anxiety and all the other stuff, fatigue and all that, then you could, focus on it. But again, check in with your doctor, do what they tell you. Don't listen to me. Actually, I will start by sharing a story. I really think it's important to talk about this topic because a lot of people are shy from, stuff about sex, and I mean, I'm not, but I think by staying away from talking about it, it's not so helpful because a lot of these symptoms and these triggers are coming from those type of activities, and it could leave us very confused. And the unknown always causes more fear, and as you know, with this whole recovery, more fear and stress and like that, it does not help. So I wanted to be transparent and just put some light on these topics, and that way we remove like the taboo-ness and the forbidden elements to it, so then we can really take a look at it and just realize, oh, it's just another symptom and it's happening to someone like me, or it happened to me before and I was able to heal from it. So it might give you some reassurance. Since the health crash in the beginning, my early 3 phases, there was just so many symptoms going on, but this was one that was very, it was almost like you would, it's scared. I wouldn't say like I was scared of it, but it's very like oxymoron, because being excited or sexually aroused or looking forward to sex or having sexual desire is a very pleasurable thing, right? But once you have this type of crash and you are, imbalanced in your hormones and you're in that fight or flight state, it's not fun to think of these pleasurable thoughts or having these pleasurable sensations, because they very quickly turn into massive adrenaline rushes, panic attacks, trembling and shaking, like heart palpitations, like nervousness, like massive like churning around the solar plex area. It's almost like it turned what used to be like exciting and pleasurable into this like scary thing. So it can be very damaging, because think about it, it's almost like if you were, like, let's say if you love cake. Ooh, kind of bad example. You love cake, and you every time you're about to eat the cake and you're so happy that you're going to eat cake, somebody takes like a nail studded hammer and whacks you over the face with it. It feels like that, because I mean, I assume most people enjoy sex. I'm sure there's some people that don't, but in general, sex is supposed to be a pleasurable thing, and you look forward to it and you're excited and you feel pleasure. Yet with this health imbalance, it turns that into something so dark. Like when you're about to like be turned on, you're almost like, like you're so nervous because it's gonna put you in that crazy adrenaline, sympathetic nervous system, like panic attack, shaky state. And it's just, oh God, that going through that period was so difficult. So many things were happening, and this is, definitely one of them. And it's not easy. It's not something easy to cope with. So, and it has to do with like exertion. So yeah, sex is a big trigger. Sports is a big trigger. Like that same, adrenaline rush that's very pleasurable, enjoyable before you have the imbalance. Like, you're in a match and you're just like, your adrenaline is high, you're running and you're just playing your sport well, and you're executing your shots or, whatever sport you're doing. Sometimes there's a crowd and people are cheering and you're like, yeah, that. And it feels amazing when you are optimally healthy. But once you have this issue, it does not feel amazing. It feels very scary, shaky, insecure, like it's awful. Okay, and it's the same kind of feeling when I had the like physical exertion in sports. It was very much like sex, or like thinking about sex. The anticipation of sex was very much like the anticipation of like playing a match or something, that butterfly thing. So all those would be triggers, and it would just like trigger that adrenaline rush, that awful like something is wrong feeling, and then it starts manifesting into like shaking, and especially in your limbs, and it manifests into like your speech sometimes, and it's just very, very, very challenging. I know there's many of you who are going through that, who has this similar type of health issue, and I feel for you. It was not easy. You almost can't be yourself in so many ways, because this obviously, you've seen all the videos I've done. This is not the only symptom or the only family of symptoms. There's so many that are so difficult to cope with. These videos, I'm more focused on the storytelling, and also so that you can relate, and I try to describe what I'm going through so that you can go, oh, that's exactly what I went through. So that's a good sign, because he recovered. Like, I want that for these videos. I'm not so focused on what I did and how to recover from it, because I've done so many videos on that as well. During the time when I was going through all this, I'd also had this other fear that I was afraid that even if I were to recover from this, the shock of what was happening with that like pleasure tainted with fear thing that I'm talking about was going to do too much damage to me psychologically, that I was going to be like permanently effed up about sex or being turned on or stuff. Because at the time it was like, I would just like not want to be turned on, because if I would go and it would send me into those symptoms. Good news, guys, when I fully recovered, even, in phase 4, when things were normal, and then phase 5, and now 10 months past like full recovery, I am very happy with my sex life and self-pleasure life. None of that comes up anymore. There's no stigma about it. It wasn't any permanent damage to me. Thank God. It doesn't have to be for you. I think it is very intense at a time that is happening, but your body is magical. Your body is just such a like power, like it's a really, really super machine. Like it just, whenever I think back on what all the hardship and all the like stuff that I put my body through, and then the whole health crash and what it had to come back from, and how long I was in that state and all that. I mean, it's just, your body is so amazing that it can come back and come back stronger and better than ever before. So don't worry, guys. Again, I'm speaking from my perspective and experience, but you definitely can recover fully, and it doesn't have to leave like a dark taint on your sexuality or your pleasure. It could just fully heal, and you can enjoy sports, sex, and all that stuff again. It is hard to imagine while you're in it, I will have to say. It's all consuming. This type of health crash is so much more impactful than a lot of people think it is that haven't really had to deal with it. And I'm thinking actually in the future I might do a video just for the people that are around people who have this type of health imbalance. And I just want to speak for us who are going through it, or who has gone through it, or who feel like they might be going through it, that it is not easy and that people should understand. And there's a lot of things that we can't explain at the time, and all we do is just keep telling our friends and family and people around us that, like, I just have this thing and I don't feel right, and it's hard for them to understand. And sometimes they don't really have the compassion and the patience, which I also don't blame them, because I would be pretty drained if I was around myself at the time. But it is hard, and we should get more slack, because it takes a lot to get through this. So I hope sharing this type of stuff, this type of information, again, brings some light to the situation, so that it's not like all in your head, and you can relate, and also it kind of brightens things up when you hear somebody else saying something that's so dead on with what you're going through. And that certainly helped me when I had the very few blessings and support of the people that had gone through it before. I had one particular person pretty much mainly. So when she would tell me what she went through and it resonated with what I was going through, it was like this breath of fresh air. It calmed me down. So that's a big motivation of my videos that I do on this subject, is to provide that for you guys, since I'm not a medical professional or anything like that. All right, thanks guys. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for spending time with me again today on this video, and have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and also click the bell icon. That's like the new thing I need to add to the ending. Is I didn't know how important it is to grow your audience, to remind people to click the bell icon. So if you haven't done that, and you like me and you like my stuff, please do so. It will really help me out. All right, thanks guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.